Good day, everyone. Welcome to our Instructional Design Programs information session here in the College of Education. My name is Tori Giffen. I am the Assistant Director of Online Programs. With us today, we have some other folks in the College of Education, including faculty member here, who I'll introduce here shortly. Um, with that, we have our instructional design program here. Let us know what your interest is in instructional design. Why are you interested in any of these programs? As a reminder, you are muted at this point in time. If you have questions during the session, please feel free to type them in the chat and we can answer those for you. But we will also have plenty of time at the end of the session to answer your questions and give you an opportunity to raise your hand or unmute yourself and ask a question. Just to let everybody know, we'll cover, various things about our instructional design programs, the eligibility, the structure, admissions, some career paths. If you have any questions throughout this session that you don't want to ask or think of anything later, or you're watching this recording back online, you can always email us at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu, and we're happy to answer those questions. With that, just want to do a quick introduction of some others in the College of Education. Gina Poff, who's not here today, myself, Brianna Davis, who is here today in the chat, will be sharing a bit later, online student advisor in online programs, and Sangeeta Paul Christian. If you get an email or something or a question answered from one of us, you know that we are with the College of Education. With that, I want to hand things over to Dr. David Huang, professor here at the College of Education, to introduce some of the faculty and talk a bit about the programs.
Thank you, Tori. Can you hear me okay?
Sure
Great.
can.
First, I want to thank Tori and Brianna for organizing and coordinating the event. It's an opportunity for us to share this wonderful program information with all of you who are here today. My name is David Huang. I'm a full professor in the concentration of IDTO. Thank you. Along with me, we have two additional wonderful faculty members teaching and conducting research in the field of IDTO. First is Professor Grace O. Professor O is an associate professor in the department. And the third person we have is Professor Xinrong Zhu. Professor Zhu is an assistant professor in the concentration. And all three of us teach into IDTO EDM programs online regularly. If you are admitted to the program, I guarantee that you will at least take one course from one of us. So that's three core faculty in IDTO. We also utilize specialized faculty capacity delivering courses from time to time, but most time the core courses will be offered by three of us. Next slide, please. I'm not going to read through the slide. Since you are here, I would like to assume that you have a little bit of information regarding instructional system design. In terms of history, this is a discipline very unique to the United States. Similar to other wonderful invention coming out of the United States, such as Coca-Cola and duct tape, IDTO, instructional system design, is a very unique, in my opinion, field of scholarship, leading to very rewarding professional engagement in terms of creating knowledge vehicles for audience to move from point A to point B in terms of learning outcome. I always use the example from my advisor in my PhD study at Purdue University in terms of instructional design. He always told us that instructional designers are architects of knowledge. We create blueprints for delivering effective and engaging instruction to audience across disciplines. I myself consider we instructional designers as people who understand the inner workings of a learning process, grounded in learning theories, instructional theory, instructional delivery strategies, and we create instruction objects or modules to be delivered. Sometimes, in my case, I have the privilege to teach the instruction modules I develop myself. In many other cases, we will hand those instruction deliverables to trainers, to faculty members, to people um, whose primary task is to disseminate information in different organizations for them to deliver. So in a way, I like to use the analogy of making cars, right? So we as instruction designers are car makers. We use the car making process to ensure that our audience can intellectually moving from point A to point B or behavior depending on your instructional outcome. And so it's very important for us to, excuse me, can you hear me okay? So it's important for us to understand how things work together. A lot of moving parts, and to me, I've been in the field for oh my goodness, more than 20 years. I just realized that. Um, I really enjoy the design process. You get to work with different people from different disciplines. I myself have backgrounds in engineering, in management, and also in education. I've gotten the opportunity to work with faculty and beyond from many other wonderful disciplines, medicine, anthropology, and so forth. So we are helping our clients, our students process information into deliverable knowledge or learning objects. So basically, that's how I see the curriculum in terms of what it does. Um, this particular concentration differs from what other program you might see from our peer institutions in that we augment the instructional design discipline with emphasis on organizational processes. You'll be taking courses such as program evaluation, such as project management. To me, that's a much needed extension beyond conventional instructional design curriculum. We would like our students to have sufficient exposure to skills that can facilitate dissemination of instructional design processes and outcomes across organizations. So if you think about change management, uh, being able to utilizing instructional system design to scaffold organizational change process through individual learning processes from the organization perspective, I think that's very rewarding, and I think that's um, the important part of the ISD discipline, considering organizational capacity that we offer in a unique way in comparison to other programs. You'll hear me today keep mentioning this term, but I'll move on to the next slide. Okay. So we are delivering the IDTO EDM program fully online. U of I has been the pioneer of professional education delivered through fully online modality. I came here in 2007, which uh, is a while ago, but historically, in terms of online program delivery, this department has been doing this for more than 20 years. So we would like to consider ourselves expert in creating engaging learning experience through online programs. So we follow the A+A schedule. You will have the point of term A, POTA, which will be the first 8 weeks of any given 16-week semester, spring or fall. And POTB, point of return B, will be the second 8-week course in the same semester. This design is purposeful in terms of maximizing online student course taking availability within regular semester. A plus A students can focus on one course in the first term and get it done and moving on to the next 8 weeks to complete the second course. We also pride ourselves for offering high engagement instructional activities in terms of offering weekly synchronous online sessions with all the students in IDTO concentration. Our faculty enjoys this type of synchronous interactions with our students, and I would like to say that our students benefit significantly from this synchronous experience as well. Synchronous sessions usually will be once a week. Each time we will have up to 3 hours of synchronous session on one of the weekdays. Using my own teaching practice as example, I usually start the session by discussing materials first, having a little bit of presentation material to share with students, and I value team-based activities in this kind of courses, especially in instructional system design. This is such a collaborative, interdisciplinary kind of job. It is essential for students to have the experience of collaborating with others while they are in the program. So the first half, I will do my presentation, lecture, discussing ideas with students, and second half, or usually I will leave at least 1 hour of the 3 hour session to allow students to touch base with their teammates. Again, I think that a high engagement type of practice, we have been doing that for, again, more than 20 years. And we believe this is the best way for us to know our students, first of all, from the perspective of the faculty, and for students themselves, the best way to interact with the faculty members and their. What else do I miss on this slide? Attendance policy is highly encouraged. We understand that things happen, given that all of you here are adult learners with other obligations professionally, and things happen. We do want to recognize that. So we highly encourage students to attend weekly synchronous sessions if possible. But at the end of the day, the policy itself refers to faculty members who offer the course. Okay, next slide. Okay, technology, I think is the key word here. We've been hearing this over and over again recently with the growing interest of artificial intelligence, for instance, in many fields. In this concentration, however, we treat technologies equally. They are tools. They are tools to facilitate the intended design processes, by extension, the intended learning process. So we follow theory-grounded guidelines to, for example, evaluate the efficacy of different technologies for different purposes of instruction. Career-wise, I can say from our current cohort of IDTO students, which is more than 40 students, is that right? We'll have the most recent number here. Our students come from different professional contexts. We have in-service teachers who are thinking about developing this set of skills so they can consider additional career opportunities in the future, switching from teaching in educational systems to creating instructional systems, learning systems, providing instructional consultations in different organizations. We have individuals who are about to retire from the military, for instance, in the United States. They are thinking about the next step after retirement. A lot of those students who are very interested in the training and development part of instruction design, very relevant to what they do as a personnel in the military context. We have individuals who are running small business. They are here to, again, developing their capacities to understand the effective ways of developing their own employees through the instruction design process. Now, so we have students from various backgrounds, which is, again, a very unique part of ISD. If you look at the career trajectories of ISD, at least in the United States, usually people will start as, I think I'm skipping ahead, but that's fine. Let's start with instructional design position with competent skills in organizational processing, in program evaluation, in managing people. People usually can move on to the mid-level type of position as instructional design or instructional managers. For those who are aspired to lead at executive level, within the organization or individually, we are seeing students starting their own consulting business, focusing on creating and providing instructional solutions to different clients. So those are things that, again, I would say the career trajectories vary depending on who you are right now and who you want to be in a couple of years. And to me, it's really about how you approach um, the discipline or the field of study based on your interests that motivate you to do to make different decisions. Okay, so I'm skipping ahead. Just so here is the slide on potential careers. Um, in addition to that, I want to share that we are seeing a lot of opportunities in recent years, more of the freelancing type of arrangement. So if you enjoy the flexibility when it comes to your professional engagement, I think instructional system design would be a good option. Good option. Do I have another slide, Tori?
So we did want to go just quick cover.
So that's my, right?
Yep.
Okay. So 32 credit hours overall is the requirement by the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign to confer a Master of Education degree, which equals to 8 courses. Within the 8 courses, students are required to complete concentration courses. Usually it's, in our case, not usually, in our case, will be 3 core courses. One course is about instructional system design, the foundations, the history, the theory, and the potential. And the second is about technology. The third one is about evaluation to establish student skill set to identify, to delineate accountability in what we do as instructional design. In addition to that, College of Education here at UI requires all Master of Education students to complete 2 foundation courses. Usually, I just want to be clear, usually those courses can be completed in summer. Sometimes those courses will follow 8 weeks model, usually. And so that's what we have found based on students we've had. Students will complete um, core courses in regular semesters, such as spring or fall, and they will spend time completing their foundation courses in summer. So if students can complete the coursework consecutively, you can complete the coursework within 18 months. So that's the optimal timeline that we share with students to consider. Again, things happen. We also offer processes, for instance, for students to petition to take a break from the course. When they are ready to re-enter the program, there are processes available so students can finish the coursework and to earn the degree. One thing to remember is among all courses, 8 courses, 3 of them have to be at 500 level online. And given that our department is the largest provider in online courses, I would say at the University of Illinois, you will not have any trouble meeting that requirement to take 500 level course. Okay.
And then with that, that takes us through the master's, and then there is also a graduate certificate program.
Okay. U of I is known to create pipelines to help all our students develop uh, stackable credentials, like putting Lego pieces together. So what I just shared with you is the EDM, the Master of Education Program, requiring 8 courses. That's a Lego set you're looking at. And this certificate, graduate certificate, requires only part of the coursework, 4 courses, half of 32, half of the 8 courses. So this is part of the Lego set to help students move on to complete the whole set in terms of getting an EDM in IDTO. So that's another opportunity if you are not 100% sure that if EDM is the optimal academic training pathway for you, this is the option you can consider. Financially, time-wise, I think that half the commitment you have to consider in terms of getting your testing the water, so to speak, get to know the faculty, get to know the discipline a little bit. So that's the certificate. I'd like to share that with you. We have seen students taking the graduate certificate in ISDML, and then when they are done, they petition to add the curriculum or to change the curriculum to the Master of Education. Some of them apply for the EDM as well. And the courses students complete in the ISDML graduate certificate can be transferred, or I should say, should be transferred to the EDM coursework requirement. That's the whole point of creating a stackable credential pipeline for students to, again, lower commitment financially, time-wise. And if you like what you are taking in the ICML certificate, then you can consider the next step.
And with that, Brianna's going to share a bit about admissions.
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Brianna Davis. I'm the online student advisor in the Office of Online Programs at the College of Education. I advise current and prospective graduate online students. So whether you are a prospect today or you are later admitted to one of our programs, I will likely be working with you in some capacity. If you are interested in applying for one of our programs, you will need to submit an application through the Graduate College. This is going to be the application that you would complete if you're interested in our Master of Education program, which we discussed first, or if you are interested in our ISDML graduate certificate program. So regardless of which of those two programs you're interested in, you will begin with an application to the graduate college. After you submit that application, the program will review your application, make an admission recommendation, and then from there, that recommendation is sent to our graduate college, which is our kind of overarching body at the campus level. They will make a final admission decision based on our campus requirements, and then you will be notified via email of a final admission decision. If you are interested in applying, you can begin at choose.illinois.edu/apply, which is linked here. We offer 6 different start dates per year. Our 2 upcoming deadlines are going to be for our fall terms. So as Dr. Huang mentioned, our courses operate on an 8-week basis. So our first 8-week session for this fall begins in August. It's what we refer to as Fall A. So if you're interested in applying for Fall A and beginning courses in August, you will need to complete your application and submit that by July 15th. If you would like a little bit more time and begin coursework in our second 8-week term, referred to as Fall B, those courses will begin in October, and that application deadline is September 15th. So we've got a couple opportunities for you to begin your studies this fall. Again, if you're interested in applying, you'll begin with the grad college application, which is linked here. And then just really quickly, I do want to note that our master's program as well as our ISDML graduate certificate program are both financial aid eligible. Beginning fall 2026, the price per credit hour along with our online student fee is $555. Please note that tuition is subject to change. Full-time student status for financial aid purposes during our fall and spring semesters is 4 credit hours. If you are in need of full-time status for other reasons outside of financial aid, it's going to be 8 credit hours for fall and spring semesters. If you do have any questions about financial aid eligibility, it is quite circumstantial based on the student. So we do recommend that you reach out to the Office of Student Financial Aid directly with those questions. They will be able to best assist you. And their contact information is here. They can be reached either via phone or email.
And with that, I wanted to turn things back over to Dr. Huang to share a bit about our Instructional Design Master Track Certificate Program.
Thank you. Before that, I'd like to respond to some interest from the chat first. Synchronous sessions, we open up all modalities for students to interact with the faculty. Some students, they prefer to use text block, using text. We do that. Some other students like the microphone, so just talk, and those modalities are both available for students to consider. The second question in terms of the master track, now in terms of the credit transfer, we have a process in place. Once students are admitted, they can petition to transfer course credits completed and not counted towards any degrees beyond U of I. The IDTO faculty then will review the transcript in alignment with the coursework we offer, and usually will render a decision to faculty within a month or so, and the university, the campus will take over for their level of review. So credit transfer process is in place, and credit transfer is possible. The IDMTC Master Track Certificate is another stackable credentials you can consider. The courses, although they are hosted by Coursera platform, the course materials, the rigor, the comprehensiveness of the content coverage are the same as courses you will be taking through. Sorry, my dog is barking. Through our offering on Canvas. So this is another opportunity. Again, the commitment here is only 2 courses. As you can see, we start from 8, 4, and now it's 2. You can apply, there's an application process as well. And then the IDTO faculty will review your applications and render recommendations for admission otherwise. So this is 8-week combo. One course is on instructional design. The other course is on learning technology. Credits will be transferable to ICML and also transferable to the EDM in IDTO. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you. And with that, turning things back over to Brianna briefly.
So a bachelor's degree is required to enroll in our Instructional Design Master Track Certificate program. You don't need to have completed any graduate courses in order to be considered for admission, but you do have to have a bachelor's degree, and we will require you to submit unofficial transcripts for your bachelor's degree as a part of the non-degree application process. The total cost of the program is $2,384. And so that comes down to $1,192 per course, which is a discounted rate as a part of our partnership program with Coursera. The Instructional Design Master Track Certificate program, as mentioned, is a non-degree program. So the application process is going to be a little bit different. Also, because it's a non-degree program, financial aid is not available, but we do offer payment plans through our bursar's office. So if you have questions about that, you can certainly contact us and we will redirect you accordingly. Or you can go to the bursar's website, which is linked here. If you're interested in the Instructional Design Master Track Certificate program, you will need to complete a non-degree application. This application is different from the grad college application that we referenced earlier. On this application, you will be asked to note which certificate program you are interested in pursuing, and from there you will be able to select the Master Track certificate courses. The courses for this program can be taken in any order, so you can begin with either EPAL 472 or EPAL 483. After you submit that application, it will be sent to the department for review, and then an admission decision will be sent to you via email. Also, as a part of that application process, you will need to, again, upload unofficial copies of your undergraduate transcripts, as well as an up-to-date copy of your resume. Applications are still open to begin this summer. So if you're interested in our summer B term, which will begin in June, you have until June 3rd to complete and submit that application. So that application deadline is coming up. If you are not prepared to submit an application by June 3rd, no worries. We do accept fall applications for this program as well. You can begin in Fall A, which begins in August, or Fall B, which begins in October. And our Fall 2026 applications for non-degree programs will open in early July.
Thank you, Brianna. With that, we hope that you will consider joining us here at the College of Education and at the University of Illinois. We are a top-tier research university. We're regularly top ranked by U.S. News and World Report. We consider ourselves to be pretty affordable when you compare us to our peers. We have world-class faculty. We have an online student engagement focus. You'll have peers from all over the states and all over the globe with a variety of backgrounds. Many of which, especially for these programs, Dr. Huang shared earlier. And there's extensive resources for online students, including access to our world-class library services, which are also available for all of our online students. With that, we hope that you will consider applying for either the Instructional Design Master Track program, the ISDML Graduate Certificate program, or the IDTO EDM program. All of our instructional design programs are great. You've heard a little bit about each of them, and we have plenty of time for questions. If anybody has any questions about any of the programs we have talked about today, if you're watching this back later or would prefer to email us directly to ask questions, you can do that. We have a crowd that's decent enough. So you could unmute yourself to ask a question. You could type it in the chat, or you could send myself or Brianna a direct message, and we can ask that question for you. One question that I did see was the English language requirement. Brianna, could you touch on that a bit?
Yes, so English proficiency scores are required as a part of our application process for international applicants. There is an English proficiency exam waiver. So if you are in compliance or if you meet certain requirements for that waiver, it is possible to waive that requirement. We would recommend that you contact the graduate college to determine your eligibility for that. The College of Education adheres to the same requirements that the graduate college adheres to. And so I will refer you to the graduate college if you have specific questions about that. Thank you, Tori, for putting that link there. So I'm not sure if that answers questions, but hopefully that clears things up a little bit. A question that I saw repeatedly in the chat, and I know Tori, you've done a good job of discussing this and answering questions, and then Dr. Huang also discussed this as well. But just to clarify, our Master Track Certificate program, which is our non-degree certificate program, does stack into our ISDML CERT program, and the ISDML CERT program does stack into our master's program. So if you would like to begin with the Master Track Certificate program and then move into the graduate certificate and from there to the master's program, it does provide a nice kind of stepping stone to a master's degree. You don't have to do it that way, but just know that that is certainly a route that you can take if you are interested in earning multiple credentials and stacking those credentials. So again, I know Tori and Dr. Huang have already done a good job of explaining that, but I wanted to reiterate it since it came up a few times in the chat. And then questions about transfer credits. I know Dr. Huang answered this as well. To just elaborate a bit further, if you are interested in our ISDML CERT program, the graduate college does not accept transfer credits into our graduate certificate programs. But if you're interested in the master's program, after you are extended an admission offer, you may certainly go through the process that Dr. Huang mentioned to request to have up to 12 credit hours accepted for transfer into the program. Those requests are reviewed on a case-by-case basis, so we aren't able to guarantee transferability of your courses. In order to assess those credits, some things that we take into consideration are they graduate level courses? Have they been applied to a previously conferred degree? So if they've already been applied to another degree, we're not able to accept those. And then just one other piece, as you are trying to get all your ducks in a row, we do require students to submit a copy of a course syllabus for each course in question in order to consider your courses for transfer. So if you are in the process of applying and you're trying to get all the materials ready for a transfer credit request, just know that you will need to have course syllabi on file and submitted as a part of your request.
Can I share some insight in terms of reviewing applications? So I've been receiving questions for IDTO students, particularly in terms of the alignment between the program itself and their professional and educational background. Some applicants have asked me, for instance, oh, I don't have an educational degree. Would I be a good fit to the program? I don't have any experience in designing anything. Would this be a good fit for me? So this program, the curriculum, the content itself, if you like to follow processes to solve problems, for instance, and this program will give you a lot of experience and training in that. For instance, we follow a lot of the instruction design model to create solutions for instructional problems by extension to improve. So if you like to utilize technological applications that we see today is AI. I don't know what's going to happen next year. For me, game-based learning is the fun part of the instruction design activity, incorporating games into the instruction design process to increase learning engagement. That's a big thing for me. So those are things that really resonate with what you like to do. Go ahead and apply. Our students, as I mentioned earlier, come from very diverse and rich educational and professional background. We really we value perspectives from different disciplines that our students are bringing to this program. I think that's what makes this program unique and effective for our students. So don't worry about the educational background. If these things we have shared with you interest you, you can do a little bit of search or even ask AI about instructional system design. You can get a little bit more information. Feel free to reach out to me on email. Yeah.
It looks like there is a question on the time limit. Do you know the time limit, Brianna? Or I can try looking that up for transfer courses.
Yeah, that's a great question. This is a prime example of why the department would require a course syllabus to be attached. The graduate college doesn't have a firm policy on number of years, since the course has been taken. So they leave it at the department's discretion to review the course syllabus to see what sort of content was covered and if that content is still relevant with the courses that we currently offer in the College of Education. So I unfortunately don't have a firm answer on that, but this is an example as to why the department would need to review a course syllabus from the course at the time that you took it. So if you do not currently have a course syllabus for that course at the time that you took it, however many years ago, I would recommend that you contact your previous institution. Usually the department keeps a copy or an archive rather of course syllabi on file. So you should be able to access that, excuse me, through your previous institution's department. They should be able to assist you with that. But the course syllabus from the time that you took the course is going to be what's required as a part of your request.
Thank you again for all the questions so far. I did launch a poll for folks to give us feedback on this session before they take off for today. Thanks for joining us over this hour. Again, if you have any questions that don't get answered or you're watching this recording back later or you think of something, you can email us at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu and we will answer those questions for you. We do still have plenty of time in case anybody else has any other questions.
Hi, I actually had a quick question. I'm just struggling to figure out how to type it. I was wondering, I'm a first year student well, hopefully, at this institution, and I'm kind of wondering what the courses look like for when you're selecting them, like the first sequence of that first semester, so that way I can kind of just take a look at those course descriptions.
Sure, I can talk about that. For the IDTO or EDM online program in general, we have quite a few. We always encourage students to start with the concentration courses. So the first course you will like to find on courses.illinois.edu would be EPOL 472, Instruction and Training System Design. That will give you the background, the foundation about the discipline, the overall skill set, and the theoretical grounding of the design process. The second course is EPOL 483, Learning Technologies, plural technology, plural term. And in that course, we will encourage students to evaluate the efficacy of technologies in general, in instructional and learning settings, based on learning theory, based on best practice, based on decades of scholarship, to provide students with foundation for decision-making processes. As technologies, you cannot escape from them when it comes to designing instructional reports. The third course, I believe, is Program Evaluation, ERAM 556, ERAM 556. Program Evaluation, I offer every year. Dr. O also offers every year. So basically, we offer twice a year, easy to catch. The course will teach students skills in terms of designing program evaluation processes and some exposure to data literacy in the context of program evaluation for the purpose of continuous improvement. Of course, the context most relevant to our students would be teaching, learning, and instructional. So those are three courses you should consider to take in the first year of the curriculum. So for instance, if you start in the fall 2026, you will take 472, 483. Then your fall is down. Then you move on to spring. Spring, then you can pick up with even 556, and then you can look into electives. And the summer after the spring, you can complete the foundation, 2 courses, and the fall after that, you can finish what's left for the EDM curriculum. So 18 months, 30 to 40 hours, if you can take courses consecutively. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much. I'm a special education teacher. I was wondering if there would be some topics leaning towards that diversity aspect
Oh,
throughout those courses.
a major bonus of becoming an IDTO EDM student in the Department of EPOL is that we have 11 concentrations, is that right? For you to choose from. And a lot of those concentrations, for instance, we have a concentration in diversity and equity education. They offer courses online, the same format, POTA, POTB, 8 weeks course. So if you want to take those courses as part of your elective, you are more than welcome to do so.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? I did provide the link to the IDTO program page in the chat, which does list all of the courses in that degree program, and you can click on those to see descriptions and some more information. Thank you again for everybody who has joined us. While I give folks one last chance to think of any questions, I want to thank everybody for attending. Again, this session will be, or has been recorded rather. I will include the slide deck in the email that will go out with the recording of the session to everyone, so you will have that on hand. Also, if you have any questions afterwards, you can email us at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu, and we will be happy to answer those for you. With that, I want to thank everybody for joining us today to learn about the instructional design programs at the College of Education. We wish you all a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Tori. Thank you, Brianna.
Thank you, David.